Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome. This is Alex Branning, and you are at the very first insurance playground workshop. So, what we're going to be talking about today is building a marketing system that helps you attract clients, keep them, and make a experience that has them bringing their friends. Now, one of the things that I am working on doing as I grow is I want to become the very best at Zoom education for insurance agents. And a big part of that is giving you something to do while we are going through the content. And so, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a worksheet for like every single webinar that I do from here on out. For those of you that have been running with me for the past 6 months, you've been seeing this. I try to make a worksheet for every single one. So I have a worksheet here. It's a Google Doc. If you're in the Zoom room, it is in the chat. Go ahead and click on it. If you're watching now on YouTube, it is in the show notes down below. Please grab the worksheet and let's walk through this together. So, what is the growth formula for insurance? A lot of times we can complicate this, right? If we're being honest with each other, we can overcomplicate what it takes to grow a business. I want to focus on the marketing side. So I'm going to be focusing on bringing people in and keeping them. And in the future, I'm going to be doing more on how to streamline operations within this playground concept. But what is the growth formula for us as we're building our agency? It's attracting clients, keeping them engaged, and turning them into referrals. That's the game, right? The agent who reaches the most people wins the most business. If we could just underline something, it's the agent who reaches the most people, who talks to the most people. That's the person that's going to sell the most insurance. Now, before, one of the things that has bugged me is that I've been in the marketing space for the last 25 years, and once I got into the insurance space, there was something that I noticed that was different than most, and that is insurance agents spend 80 to 90% of their energy chasing leads, and growth and just the business in general feels exhausting. It can feel overwhelming and it can feel stressful because we have this assembly line mentality for marketing. It's like, I'm going to bring somebody in, I'm going to sell them my product, and then on the back end, like, I hope they stay with me and I hope I don't get a chargeback. That's what I see too many insurance agencies do. What I want to give you is I want to give you this visual idea of like, what is it that I'm building? I'm not building an assembly line anymore. I'm building a playground. When you think of a playground, what do you think of? Like for me, I go back to my childhood and I think of, a playground had pretty like it was this awesome experience. There was multiple things to do on the playground. When I had fun, I wanted to do what? I wanted to bring my friends, right? And so for us, as we're building our insurance agency, I want you to think I'm not building a funnel. I'm not building an assembly line. I'm building an experience. And I'm going to call that experience the playground for your agency. Now, most marketing agencies, if you work with them, will build pieces of this. They'll build a high intent ad funnel. They'll build a landing page or a booking system, right? But if their ad stops working or if the lead vendor quality goes down, what happens? Man, growth stops. That is a fragile business. What we want to build is a strong, resilient, always growing, consistent business. We want to build something that not only attracts people, but also we want to create a system where they're inviting their friends. So we want to get away from building, one of my team members came up with this. We want to build a playground, not a hallway, right? So let's talk about that. What does that look like? Well, playgrounds don't just have one entrance. And when you're on a playground, you're going from thing to thing to thing, right? Like, for example, you have your swing, you have your slide, you have this, right? We visualize this in your agency. What are the products that you sell? And do you have a system to get your clients to go from thing to thing to thing? Also, is your experience so good that people are inviting their friends? If they're not, then If you're like, man, I'm just not getting enough referrals, we're going to talk about that later on. But if you're not getting enough referrals, it's probably because you're not intentionally setting up activities or events or giving your clients assets that they can use to attract people in. Now, playgrounds don't just have one entrance. So I just started to write out what are ways that insurance agents can get clients? Well, the one that we're seeing some of the most success on right now is at the very top. It's called a text in campaign. What that is that is when you have like your number at the top of a reel, or you post your phone number like with a Facebook social media post. Text Medicare to blank, right? That is working really well. Why? Because people are on Facebook or they're on TikTok on their phone. And now you're just giving them an instruction on something to do on their phone. You're not asking them to leave the channel or the device that they're on. Also, organic social content, retargeting ad campaigns, referrals, strategic partnerships. These are all things that grow your agency, that grow your business, that bring people into you, and that help you create an environment and an experience where people are attracted to you. Then they're staying inside of your playground, of your ecosystem, and they're inviting their friends in. Now, healthy businesses have multiple entry points, right? Now, for those of you that have been hanging out with me for a while, you have probably come in from an ad, or you've come in from a partnership campaign, right? Those are the two, for us, those two pieces, the ads direct or the partnerships. Like, a lot of you met me at a Cody Askins event. Some of you know me from Carson Porter or Joe Campert, or there's these really big names that I've been able to hang out with and work with. And I get a lot of people that come to me from those relationships. Now, for you in your business, what can you do that is going to bring people in based on who you're hanging out with? That's a huge piece for a constant stream of leads that you're able to, they walk in the room and they already trust you, right? Those referrals, when somebody like a Cody Askin stands on stage and says, Alex is the best guy that I know at tech and AI, and people in that room trust Cody Askins, that does a lot for agent CRM, because now I'm borrowing the trust of a Cody Askins, right? For you, as you're watching this right now, for those of you that are, let's say you're a Medicare agent, if you have a doctor referring someone to you, and they say, oh, if you need to get set up on Medicare, you've got to go talk to Janelle and Marcus, right? How strong of a referral is that? That's huge, right? And so, but if you don't intentionally set those up, then they will not accidentally form, right? Strategic partnerships do not fall into place, they are built. So, what we want to do as we're building out our playground is create more doors where people are coming in. I wrote down a few here: ads, webinars, these are huge, events, we'll talk about that in a second, referrals, partnerships, content, hello, and retargeting. These are all great ways for you to bring people into your world. Lead generation systems bring in different people at different parts of the customer journey. High intent ads will bring immediate buyers right now. A giveaway funnel will build your list of people that will get to know you. They fit your ideal customer avatar, and there will be a future buyer. They probably won't be ready to buy at the moment, but it fills your database. A webinar, what does a webinar do? It positions you as the authority figure, and it educates people who are on your list so that when they're ready to buy, then they think of you. Client referrals, these are by far the lowest cost. They're usually free. But what is that doing? They're coming in at a very low cost and a high trust, right? So you have all of these different lead generation systems working together, plus a few more. And the goal is, how many of these lead generation systems can you put in place for your agency so that as you build your business, you can rely on multiple ways that people are finding you and they're coming into your world. Now let's fill in the sheet. I'm all about doing the work while we're learning. And if you walk away from this and you're like, Alex talks about a playground, but I really don't know what I'm supposed to do now, that I didn't serve you. We just hung out for an hour and got to chat. So let's fill in that worksheet. It's that Google Doc right there. You want to download that, grab it. If you want to print it off, great. Otherwise, you can just fill it in on the sheet. I want you to think of what is my growth formula? What are the next steps for me? I want you to reflect right now. What do you spend most of your energy on? Is it attracting new leads? Is it retention? Is it referrals? Or I'm not sure, right? Now, put down there, hey, this is how much of my energy I spend on lead generation. And just so you know, this is not this is not bad. If you're like, I spend 90% of my energy on lead generation, that's not bad. That's just you being aware of where your energy is going, because during the next 30 minutes while we're hanging out and going through this sheet and talking about building your playground and strengthening your business and creating marketing systems that create multiple sales, what we're going to be working on together is figuring out how much of your energy should be spent on new leads and giving you some ideas for energy and money to spend on your current clients and other ways to generate leads and business. So just write this in right here. Right now, I spend most of my energy on attracting new leads. For some of you, throw in the Zoom chat. What is your number? I probably spend blank percentage on lead generation. What did you put in that sheet, guys, as you're filling this in? What'd you put in there? Awesome. Marcus says 90. Leland, 85%. Bruce says, where does networking fit? Great idea. 50%. Okay. Networking would fit. That's another lead generation avenue. So good question. Good question. All right. So we're getting anywhere from 50 to 90%. We got 80s coming in. Great. Great. So again, this is not bad. This is you saying, this is what I'm currently spending my time doing. What I'm going to show you is how to spend that other 10%, 20% to maximize your revenue generating activity. Section 2, let's talk about this. Let's just check this in. Again, this is just you being aware of where you're at. How many doors do I have? How many ways can someone enter my business right now? I want you to circle or check off what you currently use. I listed out quite a few. High intent ads, giveaway funnel, educational webinar, right? As you scroll down this list, just mark off, this is what I have working right now. Others, I put others as a question mark. Like Bruce, he put networking, right? So he does a lot on networking, which is great. Leland says, I'm spending 85% on purchasing leads. Well, I mean, that's a door right there. That's a way for people to be introduced to you. Buying a lead is not negative. Buying a lead is a way for people to come into your world. So, but what do you currently have going on right now? Check those off. The total number, for those of you that are filling this in, what is the total number of entry points that you currently have working in your business? I'm curious. Again, there's no wrong answers. There's not a bad answer. There's not a shame on you answer. Just what is the number of lead generation systems that you have right now? Pop a number in. Leland says, just my one. That's okay. Scott, 3. We got 5. You got 6s. Awesome. Awesome. So for those of you that just have one, if you have one great system in place, I want you to, number one, pat yourself on the back. You got one profitable system working right now for you. That's great. For those of you that have more than that, you're doing even better. There's nothing wrong with having one profitable system. Everyone starts with one. So awesome. We got 2s. We got 3s coming in. Great. Great. All right. So let's go to building more doors. As I just kind of spit out some of these things, a lot of times our first intuition is our next best action. So what 2 entry systems should I consider adding? As I started listing off some of those lead generation systems, you were probably like, oh, shoot, I need to do that. What were some of those lead gen systems that really stood out to you? Okay. We got high intent ads. Yes, high intent ads. If you are not already running your own ads, that is a great thing to start with. Webinars. Yes, webinars is a great thing to do as well. Really, really powerful. So now this could be different for every person. Somebody on here is going to be like, man, I could do webinars. I love teaching. I love education. I'm really good on camera. I present well. Like, you should definitely look at doing a webinar. Others are like, there is no way in hell I'm getting on camera, dude, which is totally fine. Then you can look at strategic partnerships or running a giveaway funnel, etc. Whatever it looks like, what I want you to do is write down, what are the 2 that I want to add right now? All right. So the agent that talks to the most people sells the most insurance. The insurance business is not easy, but it is simple. You don't want to complicate it. Set yourself up with multiple lead generation engines. Now, if you look at some of the people that you follow online that are in the insurance space or out of the insurance space, you're going to notice that most of the really successful folks have multiple systems that are working really well, but it starts with building one that's working really well. And that one could be, I got a great lead vendor. Another one could be, I got a great high intent. Another could be, like I just spoke to a gal yesterday, powerful woman in the insurance space. She has a almost seven-figure agency. Do you know what she does? Lunch and learns. That's it. That is her only lead generation system. She runs lunch and learns. What she does is she works with the client. So, and I have a podcast episode coming out with her. She's brilliant. Her name is Dr. Terry Alford. So what she does is she has a client, let's say Jane Doe, and she says, Jane, I'm going to be in town and I want to get together with you. I want to buy lunch for you and your friends. And I'm going to talk about, how I supported you and what I do. And so her big product is infinite banking for children, right? And so she reaches out to Jane, says, I'm going to be in town. Let's do a lunch and learn. I'll buy lunch for you and your friends on me. And I'm going to spend 30 minutes talking about infinite banking for children. And, please invite people that have kids that would be a good fit for this. But that's what I'm going to do. And um, so she literally goes around and does these lunch and learns. And that's how she builds her business. What is she doing? She's setting up an event, right? My coach Bert says something great. He says, without you need an invitation to monetization. Invitation to monetization. What is she doing? She's inviting them to a lunch and learn. She has their attention. She's giving a presentation on how infinite banking could work for your child. She's then making an offer at the end. If you want, like, let's do one-on-one and we can, set this up for you. And she is borrowing the trust of her existing client, right? When Jane invites three or four of her friends, they're saying, I'm going to go hang out at this lunch with Jane because this is someone that Jane trusts and she thinks it'll be a good use of my time. And hey, it's a free lunch. So what do I have to lose? Right? So for Dr. Terry, she might spend, let's say $40 a person on food and drinks. They're having a good time. And what is the commission on that infinite banking? It's good, right? So she's making money almost right out of the gate. She just sells one. Okay. She sells two or more, like she's winning. So I'm bringing up Dr. Terry's example to say your lead generation systems don't have to be complicated or expensive. When you come up with something that's working, you want to continue to build on that. Now, one of the other things that Dr. Terry does, I'm using her as an example because she doesn't spend money on marketing. When we think about lead generation systems and I talk to agents, one of the things that I can tell kind of gets them nervous is how expensive is it? Well, Dr. Terry is building a huge agency and she's not spending a dime on marketing. And she does lunch and learns, she does a lot of social media content, and she's going to be working on introducing webinars, right? Now, do I think she can make more money if she spent money on marketing? Yes, I do. I think she could exponentially increase her returns. I think it would be a great use of some of her profits to spend more on marketing. But that is not how she is choosing to grow her business, and there is nothing wrong with that. Okay. So for those of you that are listening right now, I want you to open your imagination. This should be inspiring. You're like, holy crap, there's people that are building multi-million-dollar businesses out there, or in her case, just under a million, and they are doing it in ways that I hadn't thought of. They're doing it a little bit cheaper than I thought that it was going to take. They're using referral systems. They're creating opportunities for themselves with relatively simple ideas that I could do right now, right? And there's a lot of really good ways to grow your business, but for you, it's about growing your business in a way that feels comfortable and empowering to you. I don't want you to do something that you are, if you feel like this is not something that would be a fit for you, like I get a lot of pushback about webinars, then don't do a webinar, right? Focus on the lunch and learns. Do something else that gets you excited and you're like, man, I cannot wait to see how this campaign goes. Now let's talk about keeping them. The real profit starts after the first sale. No follow-up equals a silent revenue loss. I was sitting with a guy at an event, and he was at a mastermind that we were hosting, and he raises his hand and says, Alex, we're doing this Q&A, this fun little pitch and catch. And he goes, Alex, can I tell you a story about how I lost out on $1 million because I didn't send any emails. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, please tell me what's going on, man. His name was Jackson. And he said, Alex, what really got me to use Agent CRM is that I didn't have any automation. And, I was building my business using spreadsheets and, just manual follow-up. And he said, one of the things that really got me to take the plunge into using Agent CRM is this interaction that I had with one of my best clients. He said, I was walking in the grocery store and I saw one of my best clients. He said, over a year ago, I sold him 4 life insurance policies, one for him, his wife, and his 2 kids. And he saw me and we're chatting and connecting. And he goes, hey, man, are you still in the insurance business? And Jackson goes, yeah, I am. He goes, oh, man, like I feel terrible because I just bought this $1 million IUL policy from this other guy because I thought you were no longer in business. And Jackson's like, why didn't you think I was still in business? And the guy goes, because I never heard from you after the sale. I didn't get any emails or text messages from you after that. I just thought you went out of business. Jackson was like, "Oh my God, I lost out on $1 million policy um, because I wasn't sending an email." And he wasn't sending an email because it wasn't something that was on his mind. He was always chasing the next lead, the next lead, the next lead, and he wasn't going backwards to reaching out to the people that were already in his list that had already bought from him. Retention isn't luck, it is systems. It is birthday messages. It is client parties. It's policy review reminders, annual check-ins, helpful educational content, cross-sell conversations, renewal reminders, like these sorts of systems, these emails that go out, these text messages that go out, these phone calls that you make at regularly scheduled times. This is a system. It's a system that you want to put in place for your business so that your client remembers who you are. And the most important thing is that they feel taken care of. The the way that your client feels about your business is not the amount of effort, it's how they feel about your effort. It's the perception, right? Now, if you were to send just emails out once a month to people with some educational content, and that's the only thing that you ever sent, what are you doing? Number one, you're positioning yourself as somebody that is regularly sending out content that is valuable to them. Number two, you are letting them know that you are still in business. Number three, at the end of every email, hopefully you're giving an opportunity to schedule a call with you. So if you're like, Alex, I'm having a hard time thinking of what to do, then all you need to do is use the Agent CRM nurturing emails and plug your current clients into that. That alone is going to help you. Okay. Now, for those of you that are, you're like, man, I would love to, have clients over at my house or, at my office or, rent out a restaurant and do a client party where I just celebrate people. You should absolutely do that. I'm seeing so many success stories of people who have these client parties, even if it's just a few people that show up and it turns into something cool. Because what you want to do for those client parties is invite people into a space and then say, hey, I'm going to buy, I'm doing brunch on me. Please bring as many friends as you want. This is a great way for me to meet new folks and for them to see how I can serve and support them. It's kind of like Dr. Terry's Lunch and Learn, but now it's a client appreciation party. Does that make sense? So it's about figuring out what are the things that I can do where I would enjoy doing it and my clients feel appreciated from it, right? There's some things on here that you might not really want to do, but others, like some of you are like, there's no way in hell I'm doing a client party. Like, I'm an introvert, man. I'm not going to set up a party. You kidding me? Others are like, oh man, just the thought of, writing out content or sending these nurturing emails, blah, like I wouldn't want those emails. Okay, great. That's not the retention system for you. It's about figuring out what's going to work for you. Now, when I start talking about systems and multiple ways for people to come into your world, one of the things that comes up is I can see on agents' faces the overwhelm. They're like, "Oh my God, this is a lot." I want to encourage you to find a system. Agent CRM has it. There's other great systems out there as well that have automated this process for you. right? Because if you try to manually do follow-ups, renewal reminders, cross-sells, events, referrals, if you try to manually do that, what's going to happen is you're going to get overwhelmed and some things are going to fall through the cracks. But when you plug this stuff in to an automation system that's built out, then it just happens. It happens behind the scenes. It happens whether you remember to do it or not. It's just going, right? So now let's go to so here's a couple of things that happen inside of Agent CRM, and then we're going to dive back into the sheet. Okay. So inside Agent CRM, we got workflows that trigger automatically. We got renewal reminders that go out. We got birthday texts, and we have referral asks that are triggered after the sale. So these are things that are already set up and ready to rock and roll inside of Agent CRM because we know if you don't have a system that does it for you automatically, it's going to slip through the cracks. And that's not a reflection on you. That's not a reflection on your memory. That's because you're spending so much time and energy going after new leads that if I don't give you a system that helps you retain the old leads, you're not going to change your habits overnight. But if I give you a system where you just have to tag them as a client and then emails start going out, birthday texts start going out, now I have taken that work off of your plate, right? And now it's just happening for you. You want to build it once and then it just runs. Like cross-sell campaigns are deployed, AI tools responding instantly, pipeline stages showing who needs attention and who you should be following up with. These are things that should be just working for you. So now referral growth is designed. I've never accidentally gotten a referral from somebody. Okay. The referrals happen because there's intentionality behind it. They're built through client appreciation parties, bring your friend workshops like the Lunch and Learns, giveaway events, referral rewards, social media shout outs. When you celebrate clients, they bring people, right? The insurance playground, remember I said it's about attracting them, keeping them, and having them bring their friends. You want to create an environment where they're like, man, if you're not working with these people, like you have got to look into working with Scott Davis because he makes it fun. Like he has client appreciation parties. I get a birthday card from him. Like I enjoy being his client because he makes me feel valued. I feel like he cares about me. If they don't feel like you care about them, it doesn't matter how hard you've worked. If they don't feel like you care, then the loyalty goes away. So you need to make sure that they know, hey, I care about you. So let's go back to that sheet. All right. I'm getting pumped up. What happens after someone becomes my client? You want to fill this in, right? And then circle what are you currently doing consistently? Are you sending out birthday messages? Are you doing client appreciation events? Are you sending out policy review reminders, annual check ins? Do you have content going out? Like, what are the things that you're doing currently? Now, there's a line down here. What's one retention system I need to improve? One. We only want one. For those of you that are brave enough to put it in the Zoom chat, go ahead and do that for me real quick. What is one retention system that you need to improve right now? You're like, man, Alex, you gave me a great idea. You're absolutely right. I need to do that. Birthday messages. Yes. Birthday messages are a great way to let people know that you care. You know what's really fun, Leland? If you do a half birthday message. So this is a great way to get people to go, what? So, and I saw somebody else do this and I'm like, yeah, I'm totally going to steal that. They send a half birthday announcement. They're like, hey, it's your half birthday. And why do they do that? Because nobody else is sending them a half birthday reminder, right? And it catches their attention, it piques their interest, it makes them look at you like, what's going on here? So that's a great fun way to get people's attention, right? So, but we're getting a lot of other, I love this. We're getting a lot of other notes in here, helpful educational content, birthdays and referral, renewal reminders. People are like, okay, this is what I'm going to work on after I get off this webinar. This is the retention system. I love this. I love this. We're in a room of action takers here. All right, let's keep scrolling down that worksheet and go to section number 5. All right, let's be honest with ourselves. Do I intentionally ask for referrals? Yes, systematically. B, sometimes, or C, never. Again, this is not a grade. This is you being honest. Where can I improve? Because if you don't intentionally ask for them, you ain't going to accidentally get them. You know what I'm saying? I've never accidentally given a referral to somebody. I've always been very intentional about giving someone the name and number of someone else to call, right? Now, how do I currently encourage referrals? This is the fill in the blank. How do I do it? What is the way that I'm doing it? For those of you that put never, then that's an NA. But for those of you that do encourage referrals, how are you doing it? Are you doing it on the phone? That's a great way to do it. But are you doing it through email? Are you doing referrals through client parties, making it really easy to have people bring their friends to you? What are some other ways that you can do that? Now, what's one referral strategy I want to implement? This is you just checking it off. Is it a client appreciation party? Is it a bring a friend workshop like the Lunch and Learn? Is it a giveaway? Is it a referral reward? Is it social recognition? This one's a great one. Or is it an automated referral ask through email? It could be all the above, but just pick one. What's one thing that I want to implement right now to do so that I can get more referrals? I love it. I love it. All right, so we're going to move on to the next stage here into this insurance playground. This is where the money is made. So we've already talked about lead generation. Okay. I talked about all the different ways that you can generate some leads. We'll be diving into some more of those in detail in future free webinars. Then we talked about referral systems. How do we get people to bring their friends? Now I want to talk about that hidden profit lever. How every product should lead to another. I wrote out some examples here. You sell life insurance, going to an annuity review. If you sell Medicare, selling final expense insurance, or Medicare, hospital indemnity plan. If you're a PNC and you're selling home and auto, about life, right? If you're selling ACA, how about long-term planning, or any client, a referral ask? You want to make sure that you map out this customer journey. You don't accidentally make a sale. It has to be a guided journey. The more you sell, the more they stick. If you're selling multiple policies to the same person, they hang out longer. We've heard this, but what is our process for making sure that happens? Now, if I were to look at my insurance playground and I were to say, okay, what's the first thing that people come in with, right? So now, for some of you, that's going to be Medicare. So let's say they jump on and it's Medicare. They have a great connection with you during AP. They sign up. Well, then afterwards, what are you doing? Well, one of the easiest sales to make that I've seen is dental and vision, right? So now you make a dental and vision small sale. So you've added that on. You have some other products that you've added on, right? These are small sales. So you got this recurring revenue coming in from them on the Medicare, and a smaller recurring revenue coming in with a dental and vision. Now, what about the big ones, right? What about the annuities? What about the infinite banking? What about these other larger vehicles that help them with? How are you going to sell those? Well, you have to give an invitation to monetize that relationship. So what does that look like? Well, it could look like an email. It could look like a webinar. There's a lot of different things that you could do to let people know about all the different ways that you serve and support them. But I promise you this, if they don't know that you can help them with like an annuity, for example, they will never buy an annuity from you. You got to make sure that they are aware of all the different ways that you can serve and support them. Now, here's another idea for you. I'm just going to leave this here and then let you kind of like stew on this, because there's a massive money making opportunity here. And a lot of times we leave it on the table, myself included, and that is referral relationships. What I mean is, let's say you're watching this right now and you're like, man, I know there's a lot of money in annuities, but there's no way I'm ever going to take the test and learn how to sell an annuity. That's just not my thing, right? No problem. Who do you know that's really good at working with people on annuities? Creating a referral relationship with them and doing a commission split could be a great way for you to add profit without the customer service aspect. Or what about those of you that work with older clients and you want to sell long-term care insurance? That is a phenomenal product, and more people are going to use it. But again, that's another thing you got to learn. What if you just teamed up with somebody and helped them with that, right? What does that look like? I'm just going to leave that there for you to write down. If that inspired you at all, write it in your worksheet to say, who should I be reaching out to for these strategic partnerships? Because at the end of the day, some of the best customers that you serve are going to need help in ways that you are just not going to want to help them in, whether it's annuities or something else. But if you have referral relationships, then there's a way for you to continue to profit off of helping that customer get the best service without you having to deliver that service. So, all right, let's go on to the next one here. Um, let's fill in the sheet. Every product should lead somewhere else. So on here, list your primary products and then what should it lead to? Now, this is something that um, when I sit down and I do one-on-one coaching with insurance agents, this is one of the first places that I start with. And the reason why I like to start here before I dive into the lead generation is because there's usually a lot of money in the list that has not been dug out yet. And it hasn't been dug out, not because they're not excellent at selling and supporting all of the different products that they have. It's because there hasn't been a plan for that cross sell and upsell. And so I love starting here. So as you're going through this worksheet, fill this in. And then what is a new on ramp I can build? One of the most effective ways to sell a current customer on a new product is to make a short video that you can send over and over and over again, talking about the benefits of the product. So, for example, I'm just going to stay on annuities just because that one's easy. So, if you were going to say, hey, this is why I think you might be interested in an annuity, and this is what I think, the benefit could be for you. If you want, and at the end of the video, the short video, you can say, if you want to talk more about it, what that looks like for you, let's schedule a call, right? Now, if they watch that video and then reach out to you, that's a very hot lead, and they're coming to you with some basic product knowledge. Another on ramp is the simple text message. It's about, and I helped another guy with this. His name is Lewis. He's down in San Antonio, and he serves over 1,000 families a year with Medicare. And if they do not buy a dental policy with him while they're on the phone, he has a text message that goes out a few days later where he apologizes and says, hey, I am so sorry. It looks like I never brought up the dental plans that you qualify for. I've attached a PDF with the different dental plans in our area that we can get you signed up with. Go ahead and look this over and let me know, and then schedule a time on my calendar. I'll get you signed up, right? A simple text with a PDF link. They look at it and they go, yeah, this one's the one that I want. And now when they get on the phone with him, he knows that they're there to talk about adding dental. He knows that they've reviewed the PDF and they're just ready to sign up. That's amazing, right? So he's sold over 400 dental policies that way. But it came down to him having a very clearly defined customer journey. I'm going to talk to him about Medicare, then I'm going to talk about dental and vision, and then I'm going to talk about, he goes down the line. And I think he has I want to say 8 different products that he presents to every single person that comes through his list. Crazy. Let's talk about strategic partners. Again, we're looking at building our playground, setting up rooms where people can come in, making sure that we have a constant flow of leads. Strategic partners are going to be one of the best ways for you to bring people into your world. One strong partner can beat a paid ad campaign. So for me, working with Cody Askins has been a huge gift because he's got such a big brand and we have such a great relationship. He's constantly sending folks to me that are a great fit for me. And I'm able to send clients back, not at the same amount that he is, but we're a great referral partner because we feed each other. There's a lot of people that you have in your network that you could feed. You could do events together, right? You could do things that are attracting your ideal client and they're a great fit for them. So I want you to think about who you can serve. Again, that you don't have to fulfill the thing, but you can bring them in and they're a great fit for you and for them. And a couple examples are one of the easier ones for insurance agents, especially in the P&C world, is a real estate agent. That they're working with families, right? Bringing them in, or a doctor's office. There's a lot. We'll talk about those a little bit more, but here's a few that I wrote down. Mortgage brokers, real estate agents, CPAs, financial advisors. For those of you that don't sell P&C, become besties with a P&C agent and vice versa. If you don't do Medicare, make a connection with a Medicare agent so that you can send people to them. And then estate planning attorneys. These are just a short list. Every strong partner is another entry point. Every strong partner is another entry point into your world. It's important that you have these relationships set up so that you can, A, send people to them, because it's really hard to make a withdrawal if you don't make a deposit. So you want to make sure that you're sending people to them. but also you want to make sure that you're able to serve your customers when needs come up, right? It's important that people view you as a solution for their family. And so if they come to you and it's obviously something you can't help them with, but if you're able to send them to the right person, you're going to look like one of like an asset for them, and their family. So when you refer your client to a trusted CPA, a mortgage broker, an estate attorney, a financial advisor, when you refer your clients to them, what you're telling them is, I am well connected, I am trustworthy, I have a great relationship, and there's a lot of things that I can help you with that you didn't know about already, right? And you could leverage these relationships in a lot of different ways, right? You could, for example, you could have a client appreciation party, and you could do it at a CPA office, right? Or vice versa. The CPA could do a client appreciation party at your office, right? Now you're bringing people to each other, so that you can both benefit from that type of relationship. When you connect clients to trusted pros, you become the connector or the hub, and your client stays in your playground, right? Because you're the one who brought everyone together. You're the relationship anchor. You are the trusted guide. They're going to look at you and go, man, this guy has so many connections and so many ways to help serve me and so many ways for me to protect my family. This guy is awesome, or this gal is awesome, right? And so the more that they see you as an asset in their life, the less likely they are to leave. Do you see that? Does that make sense to you? If that makes sense to you, put a one in the chat. You're like, that resonates with me. I get that. I get that. Right on. Right on. Because when people are looking at you as just the guy that gets them the next policy or renewal, that's one thing. But if they look at you and they go, man, like I do not ever want to leave Terrence's world because that guy is so well connected. He's always in the know. He knows people that are exactly what I need, right? He's doing fun parties or gatherings. He's doing webinars that tell me about new products. Like this guy isn't just my insurance guy. This guy is somebody that I see on my family's team, right? When they see you as that, they just don't leave as much. The retention is much higher. So let's go back to the sheet. Let's fill this in. List 5 potential referral partners. Now, because we're coming up on time here, you can breeze through this. You can finish it later. How many hot leads have I sent partners in the last 90 days? Now, this is an area of growth for a lot of people, including myself. I literally sit down and go, who can I refer out, right? Who can I send over to someone like Cody? How can I serve and support him? Who can I send over to? There's a lot of people that I work with in this space, like Wave Dialer and these other tools that I use. Who can I send to them? How can I support them? How can I build them up? I think about that because I know that they're not going to send people to me unless they feel like it's reciprocated, right? So now, what is one partnership that I need to strengthen? Write that one down. One partnership that I need to strengthen. I got a couple that I'm really working hard on right now so that they know how valued they are to me. Like I'll send them a gift, I'll send them referrals. Like I want them to know, man, you are really important to me and I really value your relationship. Because not only do they care about yes, they care about the relationship, but it's about the perception. If they feel like I no longer care, if I take them for granted, they're not going to be excited to send me new referrals, right? Now, why do most agents not have some of this stuff? It's because they don't have the structure, or their marketing agency only built one system, or they never built the cross sell. They don't automate retention. You don't need more effort. You need this stuff to be designed and just given to you out of the box, right? It's not about sitting there and trying to plot all this stuff out. That's an exhausting work. You want to make sure that you use a system that's got this whole thing dialed in. And what the playground looks like is multiple entry systems, automated follow-up, multiple product on-ramps, and referral loops. We're looking at building an entire business. The playground is like what a healthy business looks like. It's not a single campaign. There's nothing wrong with hiring an agency to build a campaign for you. There's some people that have great ad systems, webinar systems, etc., but that's just one entry point, right? That is a single campaign. You want to make sure that you build on top of that to make sure that you have a healthy, strong business and not a single entry point, not an assembly line type of business. Now, healthy playground also looks like having good retention campaigns, an event strategy, pipeline visibility, AI assistance. Like this is huge. And then another one, I'm a data nerd. You got to have clear lifetime value tracking, right? Like one of the things that we do at Agent CRM is we look at how many new people have come into our world, but then also what is our average revenue per client? And how can we add more value so that we're able to ask for more? What does that look like for us? And the same thing for you, right? If your average, I'm just throwing out random numbers, so excuse the silly examples here, but if your average commission for a client is say $600 per person, right? Then if you're able to increase that to, let's say 900, that's a 50% increase on your customer value. If you can make that, so now what does that look like though? How do you get to that point? Well, cross sells, upsells, etc. Right? You got to set up systems to make to bring more value to them so that you're able to extract more value for yourself. So let's go back to the sheet. So what currently feels overwhelming? Follow-ups, renewal reminders. Again, this is what I want you to look at is checking this off and committing to yourself who, not how. Not how am I going to do this? Who? Who's going to help me do this? Right? Who's going to help me with pipeline visibility? Who's going to help me with birthday messages? Right? Now, if you're doing some of this stuff manually right now, write out how much time would I save weekly if I just automated this, right? If I automated my referral tracking, if I automated my birthday messages, if I automated my lead response, right? What would that, how much would that help? Okay. Then what is my playground vision? We're nearing the end. I want you to really take ownership of this idea of building your own playground. In 12 months, what is your playground going to have? Multiple steady entry points. Yes, check that one off. Generating consistent referrals. Yes, check that one off. Automatically cross-selling. Yes, check that one off. Run renewals automatically. Yes, check that off. Increasing revenue per client. Yes, check that one off. Heck, circle that one. And then reducing my lead dependency. This should be reducing my lead vendor dependency. What is my number one priority after this webinar? Hopefully you're getting juiced up, you're getting excited, motivated, inspired to take action. What's the number one thing I'm going to do right now? You're like, man, I just got to, maybe I got to just send an email out and let people know that I sell this product, or maybe I got to, the first thing I'm going to do is put a date on the calendar for a client appreciation dinner. Like that's the first thing I'm going to do right now. What is that first thing you're going to do? Now, let me give you some examples, because as I was writing this out, I'm like, I wonder if people are going to get the vision. And so let me write out some examples for you. Playground model number one, and then I'm going to take some Q&A here. And so what a life insurance agent who sells annuities, the entry point, they got two. They got a life insurance webinar and they have social content on income protection. So they got two different entry points, right? People are coming in, they're scheduling from after watching the webinar, or they're scheduling from seeing social content. What does the retention and nurture part of the playground look like? They got a policy review workflow. They have a retirement planning invite where you just sit down with them and work on their retirement plan. You have an annual check-in automation, and you do one client appreciation dinner a year. That's a great playground, by the way. Do you see all the different ways that we are monetizing the relationship after we sell them life insurance? Now, what are the on-ramps? You have a life client to a retirement conversation. That's always upselling to the annuities. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, right? Now, he's putting himself in a position to have 4 conversations about the annuity, the policy review, the retirement planning invite, the annual check-in, and the client appreciation dinner. That's 4 different times that this person's going to have an opportunity to sell them another product and to retain their business. See how powerful that is? All right, let's go to the next one. A Medicare agent who sells final expense. What do they have setting up? They got turning 65 ads and they have a giveaway funnel. So the giveaway funnel is great for low intent leads. It's a great way to build your list. But you don't want to assume that those people are all ready to buy. So what does their retention and nurturing look like? Let's look at this particular person. They have a hospital indemnity cross-sell. They have a dental and vision campaign, probably something similar to what I created. They have an annual enrollment reminder. They have a birthday touch point and a client appreciation event. Wow. So they have 2 different entry points, the turning 65 ads and the giveaway funnel. Those can run all year round, right? And if they're doing the giveaway funnel right, they're getting 10 people a day coming into their world. Amazing. So now their retention and nurture. Somebody gets Medicare from them. What happens? Well, they've got them set up for hospital indemnity cross-sell. Boom, 1. Dental and vision campaign. Boom, 2. Annual enrollment reminder, birthday touch point, and a client appreciation event. That's five touch points to talk to them about other products that they have. What is their on ramp? They want to go from Medicare to a final expense, right? That's an on ramp as well. They have hospital indemnity that they're selling actively, dental and vision actively. These are things that they're selling actively. They're not going to accidentally cross sell into these. They are being active and they are being very intentional about setting this up. The last one, what's the third one? A P&C agent, someone who sells home and auto and life insurance, right? So what is their entry points? Well, getting quotes from home and auto. They have a bundle and save campaign. They're sponsoring local events and they're doing a giveaway from them. 4 different entry points. That's huge. That's huge. That's great. Now they have 4 ways that are actively bringing in new, fresh clients into their world. What are the retention and nurturing campaigns that they have? Well, they have a life insurance check-in. They have a client appreciation dinner. You'll notice I keep using that. It just works so well. They have an annual coverage review, a policy renewal reminder, and a home anniversary campaign. So this person has 5 different things that they're doing. And what they've got is they have an on-ramp to say, we're going to start with the auto, then we're going to go to home and life, right? So that's how they're going to be approaching each client. Do you see how they're intentionally setting up multiple entry points, multiple retention and nurture campaigns, and they've clearly got the customer journey set up and ready to go, right? If you see that, put a $ in there. You're like, okay, I can see how that agency is going to be more profitable because they have multiple things going on. Go and throw a $ in there. You're like, okay, man, like I'm starting to catch the vision here of what Alex is talking about with this playground. I get it. All right. Now, what is the big shift? Before we talked about sales funnels, I talked about sales funnels too. I still run sales funnels. Sales funnels are great. But if you just focus on the funnel, then you only have a funnel that attracts clients. You're not focusing on the back end where you keep them and multiply them. So when you look at your business as a playground, you're looking at like, okay, there's going to be multiple ways to enter. There's going to be multiple things that they can do while they're there, multiple things that they can buy. And then I got to make this fun. I got to make them feel appreciated. I got to let them know that I care about them and that I'm here for them. So you want to build in that playground. So let's go back to the sheet. Let's fill this in. What is the one thing I'm going to implement in the next 30 days? And then by when? Because if you write it down without a deadline, you've got just a wish, right? But what's the one thing you're going to implement in the next 30 days? And then by when are you going to do that? Now, for some of you, it's going to be, Alex, I'm going to turn on that cross-sell vault that's inside of the agent CRM. And I'm going to do that, at the next expert hour call that I have, or I'm going to do that on a quick fix call, or I'm just going to do that myself, right? And I'm going to do that within the next 7 days. That could be for some of you, you're like, I'm going to sell some cross-sell emails and see what happens. Others are going to be like, I'm going to grab that webinar funnel that's in agent CRM. And I'm going to go there and I'm going to take action on this. And I'm going to set up my first webinar because I think I'll crush it, right? Whatever that is, write that down. That's the next action step. Because again, if you just hung out with me for the last, almost hour and you don't walk away with an action plan, then hopefully I got you inspired and wanting to take action. But at the end of the day, if you don't do something with this information, then it won't be valuable to you. And I want you to look at every single webinar I do as